Yeah, you guys all ready to go? If you can grab your seats, thanks. Hey, I'm Daniel Hurley. I'm Pest Animal Team Leader here in Horizons Regional Council. I won't talk too much because most of my stuff's pretty boring. But yeah, we just got to keep this one pretty tight because people want to move between talks and that. So yeah, there might not be time for questions. But yeah, we'll do our best. And first up, we've got actually a duo, which isn't on the program. We've got Jacqueline Neave from Ministry of Primary Industries that's just started up in animal management there, and Greg Corbett from Waikato Regional Council will be doing this talk. And on our favourite Australian with pouches.
Kia ora, tēnā koutou. So Jacqueline and Greg.
Greg Corbett from Bay of Plenty Regional Council, Dan.
Sorry, I didn't write that.
So we'll be tag teaming today, so I'll kick us off. So we're here to talk about the National Wallaby Eradication Program and 5 years on. But first, we need to talk about how it started. So the wallaby isn't a new pest to New Zealand. A lot of work has really gone into controlling the wallaby over the years. There was limited resource, limited funding, limited process. And that's how we came to a centralised, the national program was established. And so the important key here is in partnership. And that partnership was with Biosecurity New Zealand, iwi, councils, DOC, Fed Farmers, Forest and Bird, and then LINZ. And also we work really closely with farmers, landowners, researchers and communities. And then of course, good program has good structure. So the program structure is modelled off the Wilding Conifer program. Many of you will be familiar with that, and that program's working well. It's overseen by the governance group, which consists of stakeholders, and coordinated by MPI, with the support from LINZ and DOC. The program team is then supported by operational and research groups, and a lot of the operational work is delivered through regional councils with input from stakeholders and partnerships with Wanata Whenua. So these strong partnerships have resulted in joint decision-making and strategic direction. So that's when we developed the National Wallaby Eradication Strategy. So the reason we're here today is to talk about 5 years on. So the development of the program, what have we achieved? A lot, really. So we've implemented a really useful data management system. Again, many of you will know it, Wallace. Wallace provides a great oversight of the program throughout New Zealand, and it's a platform for report wallabies. And one of the useful things in this program is we can produce the maps, so that gives us a really solid outline of the containment area, buffer zone, and areas we need to target as well. We've delivered an engagement campaign that has really raised the awareness of wallabies. Many people didn't even know wallabies were in New Zealand, or at least a pest. So we've promoted this through merchandise and printed material and active campaigns with education, authorities and farmers, landowners. We've also established a really important, robust research program. I'm so excited about this because we're starting to see those results now. And due to that, we can make changes, if needed, to the program. And Greg will talk more about some of the successful research we've done. So that brings us to the operational side. So with the program structure now established, operations are progressing towards containment of wallabies. So we've been in 2.2 million hectares to look for the presence of wallabies. So it's really important to know where they are and where they are not, so we can target our resources. The control work has focused on those outlining populations, and the buffer areas as well, where we've shot 20,000 wallabies. So this helps to reduce the spread and also reinfestation as well. Now, the fences are being used to strengthen the containment boundaries where there are no natural boundaries, for example, rivers, mountains. So we've built 58 kilometres of barrier fencing. Like you can see the wee wallaby there, he's on the right side of the fence. And there's that little extra bit which stops him from digging in underneath the fence as well. And it's a great tool, and also it's cost effective. So if you build a fence, that will reduce the amount of control later on in the future. And thanks to the excellent engagement work, we've investigated 1,028 sightings reported outside that containment area. And so we've followed all of those up, and a lot of them do turn out to be possums and things like that, but we have managed to shoot some wallabies from that as well. And these are areas we wouldn't necessarily be looking in. And this is an awesome photo. Kevin, who's part of our team, went down to work with, down to Tekabo to work with some of the team down there, and that's the wallaby fence. So that's what we're protecting. We're protecting the biosecurity of New Zealand and the natural environment. So that brings us to progress towards containment. And I'll put that on there. So to achieve containment, we need to both eliminate breeding populations of wallabies outside of the containment and prevent wallaby migrating outwards from the containment area. So progress is being done to meet this goal. Now, you can see, hopefully on this here, that there's a green line. So there was a gap. So there was no big... so we needed to put a fence. So that's the wallaby fence that you saw before. So the purple area here, which we call our buffer zone, that's where we do a lot of our poison control. Now, we have a 95 to 99% efficacy rate there, which is fantastic, and it's pushing the wallabies back into the containment area, which is the red line round there. Now, the blue area is where we do a lot of our groundwork, so a lot of the dog and gun work. So, yes, so we are working towards containment, and the data shows this as numbers are reducing as well. So now I'll pass you on to Greg to talk to you more about the research and other parts of the program.
Thanks, Jackie. What's working? And really, this is a big shout out to our contractors here and the innovation that they've brought into our program. But really what's working is the traditional methods that we've always used. So dog and gun, aerial poisoning and aerial shooting and night shooting are still really the key things operationally that we're carrying out. But the incorporation of new technologies has significantly increased their effectiveness. One of the biggest game changers, which won't be a surprise to a lot of people in this room, is the recent advancement and availability of thermal imaging and night vision gear. And these have been a game changer for our shooting and surveillance operations, especially when incorporated with the use of drones. Aerial 1080 remains our most effective knockdown tool for larger populations. And in some cases, we've even managed to eliminate small localised populations entirely. While we still have to deal with the baggage that comes with its use, the development of rapid breakdown baits is helping gain landowner support by reducing paddock withholding periods. And finally, as already mentioned, strategic use of fencing is playing a significant role in reducing the risk of ongoing dispersal out of the containment areas. Our research program is, as Jackie just mentioned, well established now and producing results. And these results are enhancing both our operational strategies and our understanding of outcomes in the field. Strontium isotopes and genomics are helping us trace the origins of wallabies that have been dumped or dispersed outside of the containment areas. And as we move into the future, these technologies will be critical in eventually eradicating those outlier populations and as we move into the core areas. While the use of dogs and camera traps have been our main surveillance and monitoring tools for many years, we now have a good understanding of their detection probabilities, and this is helping us plan monitoring surveillance operations with greater confidence, and is also helping us interpret the results. We're also leveraging AI and decision support tools to improve how we plan, design and execute operations. These technologies are helping us make smarter and faster decisions and better optimise our limited resources. But it hasn't all been rosy, and the research program has thrown us a few curveballs. The genomic work has already reported to NETS last year, I believe. You confirmed Dharma wallabies present in the central North Island. This was a bit of a surprise. While they resemble Dharma wallabies, they are significantly different in their behaviour and habitat use. And as of yet, we don't really truly understand the implications of their presence to our program and our objectives. Things like possum dominance and wallaby avoidance of bait stations were previously known, but not well understood. We now recognise that we need to completely rethink our ground VTA strategies if we want to incorporate this method into our elimination toolbox. We've also looked at the use of night thermal imaging surveillance from helicopters. And while this method has showed some promise, the management of health and safety risks makes it too costly really to pursue at this time. And on top of this, the growing awareness of wallabies is creating landowner frustration within the containment areas due to the impacts that they're suffering. They are calling for more support, and there is some risk that this could drag resources away from our work outside of the containment areas and potentially undermine our strategic objectives. And I'll hand back to Jackie just to wrap up.
So on that, around the strategy has guided us in direction of the program and brought a lot of awareness about wallabies in New Zealand and the program. But it's 5 years on now, so it is time to review that strategy. So look out for information. We are starting the planning already, and so we'll be looking at doing that review and rewriting the strategy if we need to over the next 3 years. So we're well into that now. And also we've also had an evaluation of the program, and that will be fed into that strategy. And also, we'll be at the 4x4 Expo in Rotorua. So come see us, come say hi. Thank you.
You've left some time for questions. Would anyone like to ask some questions since we've got time? Come on, someone wants to kill a wallaby. Here we go.
I was just interested in the detection of the Palmer wallaby. So have you got any idea where that's come from, or is that like maybe a pet escapee, or someone's brought one up from the South Island, or what's your thoughts?
So we initially thought that there may have been, there were a number of Dharma wallabies taken from Kaua Island in the early 1900s that were released in the Rotorua area, and there was some thinking initially that there may have been a Palmer or two bought in that. But however, we've heard a few rumours more recently that possibly during the 1990s, when there was a lot of exporting of live wallabies going on, that people were holding wallabies that had been caught on Kaua Island in the Rotorua area prior to export, possibly deliberate release, possibly just escaped from a facility.
Thank you.
No.